Baby, can you look over this, please? Because I might go to jail messing with this person.
Right. Go to college, get a good job, work a job for 30 years.
Oh, God, yes.
Today, my parents probably think I'm crazy for leaving corporate. I feel like trends are a phase, and I feel like some people think that just because they're wearing something that is on trend, like, oh, I can dress, or but really it's about your personal style, what you like, and what makes you feel your best.
Welcome, everyone. Today we have a very special guest, Shaquanna Chappelle. And so, Shaquanna, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so thank you again for having me. I'm so excited. This is my first podcast where I'm talking about mommy stuff, so this is special to me. But I'm Shaquanna Chappelle, and I just truly believe in women showing up with confidence and power, because I know for myself, once I removed my own insecurities and self-limiting thoughts, that's when I began to see myself in God's perfect image. And so I do believe that my life mission, what He has me here for, my purpose, is to help women feel confident, feel powerful, and just really move in their purpose with that confidence. So I do that through various ways, various methods. So most people know me for my wardrobe styling. So I'm a wardrobe stylist for professional women who are high achieving women. They're CEOs, women are leaders in corporate America, they're directors, etc. And so they're in these spaces where they have to show up confident, but oftentimes their wardrobe doesn't speak to that, or they don't know how to get their wardrobe to that point. So I do their closet purging if necessary. I'll do their shopping. I do their styling. This is done both in person and virtually. And really the most fulfilling part of that is, like I said, just seeing them walk into a room and command that room and just feel confident in what they're wearing. I'm also an executive presence consultant. So I coach professional women on their executive presence, how to pursue that powerful presence so they can show up authentically and demonstrate that confidence. And then I do corporate speaking on that same topic about executive presence. So I help a lot of new and emerging leaders in corporate spaces, even at institutions, universities, colleges, giving them the tools needed to clearly define what executive presence means for them so they can show up in that confident, powerful, and authentic way. So that's what I do.
That is awesome. And I love that you said so they can show up authentically, for them. So what does that executive presence mean for them? So when you're styling, what are some of the things that you consider for that specific person? Can you walk me through that process?
Yes, absolutely. It's so fun. It's fun, but it's just so interesting because if I'm being transparent, a lot of the women I work with, probably about 95% of them are Black professional women. And we have a lot of trauma when it comes to what we wear. And a lot of it has to do with body image. Or in body type. And then just in general, women, our bodies change, whether it's kids or whatever. And so the main thing is the body type. I get a lot of women who come to me and say, hey, Shaquanna, my body has changed. I don't know how to dress it anymore. I don't know what to wear that flatters my figure, accentuates my figure. So that's one of the things that we touch on almost immediately. What is your body type? What are your measurements? What are your proportions? And let's identify the styles of clothing that work best for that. But also I consider their lifestyle. I consider what they do, what they like and what they dislike. Are you a mommy entrepreneur, or are you the CEO and you have board meetings and you travel? Kind of figuring out all of that is super important. And also figuring out what is your vision. I always ask my clients, where do you see yourself? Where do you see your career in the next year, next 5 years? Because that's what I want to dress you for. Yes, I can dress you for right now because right now is important. But more specifically, if we're thinking about future and the level you're trying to go to, let's start dressing like that now. So those are the things that a very subset of things that I consider when styling my clients.
And what's the number one reaction that you get from people after they've gone through this transformation with you? What are the words that they're saying to you? How are they feeling? What is that like?
They are, first they're like, Shaquanna, how did you do this? I've been trying this for years. How did you do this? I get a lot of oh my gosh, Shaquanna, I feel so good now. I feel confident. I feel more like myself. I feel like I can take over the world. I get those type of comments. I get a lot of emails too. They'll update me on what they're shopping for, what they recently purchased, what outfit they recently put together for a special event. So it's really cute because it's like, now that they feel good about what they're wearing, they're like showing it off. And they'll show it off on like social media or whatever with pictures, but they're immediately sending it to me like, look, Shaquanna, look what I did. So I just love it. And I often say that, well, yes, I help with the exterior, right? I help with the wardrobe styling, making sure you look good. But what's most important to me is making sure you feel good. And what I do is when I work with clients, this is personal styling at the end of the day. I'm not like an AI algorithm. I'm not some stranger you meet in the store who's going to style you. No, we're going to really build a relationship so I can really know you and identify that light that's in you that I just need to bring out. A lot of times women aren't confident because they haven't recognize that light that they have within them, or they let that light dim over the years. And so I have a unique ability to recognize what that light is and bring it out and communicate it with their wardrobe, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when they get excited and happy, I'm like, girl, you already had that in you. I just brought it out.
Right. And it's almost like you're teaching, how the Bible says, teach a man to fish.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're doing that, because when they're contacting you, like, oh, I was at the store, this is what I got, this is how I'm putting it together. So it is a skill that they're learning a skill that they can use going forward. And I think that that's beautiful, that you're really blessing and transforming people in that way.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Look at you out here changing lives. One wardrobe at a time. That is so beautiful. So what made you even get into that? What's the backstory?
Yeah, so I didn't go to school for it. I didn't have any special training. Honestly, I've been around it my whole life. So when I was younger, my mom and my dad, they were young, finances weren't hitting, like they
right.
should be or whatever. So we used to do a lot of thrifting. I remember we used to go to yard sales. I used to get my clothes from yard sales, but I distinctly remember seeing my parents, and specifically my dad, because my mom actually passed away when I was 8 years old. But I have memories of her dressing too, but really with my dad. My dad loves to get dressed, and he can go and get a $5 suit from Goodwill and come home and spruce it up and just really make it his own. And then we leave for church the next day, and I'm like, wow, you look like you got that from Saks or Stevens or something, but really had to make it his own. So I've been around that all my life. Like, we're just a family who like to get up, get dressed, and just feel really good. And so that's just how it's been. I just love clothes. I love shopping. I love styling. And as I got older, I was the friend that would get the phone calls and text messages. Hey, where can I get such and such from? Or let me see you this picture of this outfit, Shaquanna. You think this is cute? Or how can I wear this? And so I was like, you know what? I love y'all, but I'm about to turn this into a business. And I just took a leap. I was just like, let me just see if other people, because I would also, because I like to get dressed, I would also post my outfit pictures online, and I would pay attention to the response that I would get from people. And I'm like, I guess people like my style. I guess they like how I put things together. Let me put it out there and see if they'll take that bite and go ahead and book me for styling. And they did. And I just built and grown ever since then.
Now, is it something that's just intuitive for you, that you just know how to put these things together? Or is it, are you following trends and you're studying different things? How does that work?
It's more so intuitive. I think I know it is my eye, how I see things and how I put them together. That took a while for me to accept and recognize about myself, because people are like, how do you do this? I'm like, I don't know, y'all, just do it. It's so easy, just do it. Yeah. But as I continue to work more and talk to people more, I understood. I was like, oh no, this is a gift God gave me. He gave me a real gift. And even now, like even with my parents and whatever, they'll come and they'll ask me, because they went to like some type of outing the other day, and they're like, what do you think about this? What do you think? I'm like, no, put this together, do this. They're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, it just comes very naturally to me. So yeah, it's intuitive, and I'm not a huge person I'm not big on trends. Like, I understand fashion trends. They're, nice, they're fun, they're cool. And I dibble and dabble in them for my own personal wardrobe, but I don't lean on them to do what I do, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like trends come and go. I feel like trends are a phase. And I feel like some people think that just because they're wearing something that is on trend, like, oh, I can dress, or but really it's about your personal style, what you like, and what makes you feel your best.
Yeah, it's like you said, trends are transient, right? Like you said, they will come and they will go. So it's important to be able to identify your own style. And I know, we're talking about like clothing and accessories and what it looks like on the outside, but I think that that's very, it transfers over to just in general in your life, understanding your style. What's your voice when you speak? What is your voice when you're writing something? How are you communicating in general? And as business owners, we often, have to come up with like frameworks for how we do what it is that we do. That's why I asked you, like, is it intuitive? So what was the process of, because you want to make sure you get consistent results for all your clients. So kind of walk me through what was your process for creating a framework on how you serve your clients consistently, being that it's intuitive.
Yeah. So I guess when I think of framework, kind of like my process, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I do it. So once a client comes on board, I'm very big on, I need to know you. And I'm also very clear on setting expectations. When people look at me or come to know my brand and they think, oh, okay, you're a fashion stylist, they think that I'm the stylist that they see on TV, like the celebrity stylist. I'm not that. I'm not just going to come to your house with a Rolling Rock and clothes and we're going to figure it out. No, I need to get to know you. So I do sit down with my clients and I have a deep dive. It's the style analysis call. I have a deep dive into who they are, what they like, what their preferences are, what wardrobe gaps they have. Just really get a better understanding of them and their wardrobe, especially if it's my first time working with them, and especially if I've never seen their wardrobe. So I didn't do like a closet purge or anything like that. And so we go through that call, and then from there, that's when I actually do the shopping. Well, I'll put together a style mood board as well. We'll go shopping. And when I say we'll go shopping, I'll go shopping. And it's, like I said, it's done virtually. I have, different tools and systems that I use to make it very seamless. But I'll pull some pieces for you. And it's really just a two-way relationship and communication where I need to know, hey, did you see the items? Did you get them? What do you think? Give me the feedback so I can know what else to get. And then from there, I will also put together looks for them so they can see how to wear them in different ways. I'm really big on getting a return on your investment in your wardrobe. So yeah, you may have just spent $1,000 on a wardrobe, but I'm going to show you how to get $3,000 more out of it by pairing it with items you already have, pairing it with different pieces to make it look different, and it can last you a long time. Then also I offer some virtual try-on sessions. So we do that kind of at the end of our time working together just to get some questions answered. So that's kind of the standard of like the framework and what I take them through, but I'm getting measurements throughout the time. I'm understanding their body type, understanding what stores they currently shop at, understanding, of course, their goals, their desired goals with their style. All of that is kind of lumped into that initial conversation. And then from there, I take that stress and that worry off of them. I do the shopping and they just buy whatever they want to buy.
So do you typically, like, because you said that you figure out where they're already shopping and all of that. So do you typically like try to stay in alignment with that, or is it just to give you an idea, like budget wise, style wise, what they're, okay.
It gives me an idea of budget. Like they can give me a budget of how much money they want to spend on new clothes, but when they tell me some of their favorite stores and brands to shop for, it tells me more about them, honestly. Yeah. Like if you are a Target girl, an Amazon girl, which I am myself, so nothing wrong with that at all. that tells me versus if you're like, no, I like to shop at Neiman's or Ann
Yeah.
Taylor or whatever, something like that. I'm like, okay, it just kind of lets me know a little bit more of your aesthetic too and what you're willing to purchase. But yeah, it's more so budget. Also, it helps me kind of stick around a certain price point that's similar to the stores that they're used to. But I love to introduce my clients to new stores and brands as well. So having that list, like I have one client now, she shops everything from Amazon all the way to Saks. So I'm like introducing new stores and brands to her so she can, have more places to shop. Because a lot of people too, they come to me, I don't know where to shop, or I'm tired of Amazon, I'm tired of Target, I don't know where to shop. I'm like, okay, well, here are some other boutiques or stores that you can consider as well.
Yeah. I love what you said earlier about the return on investment. Because I think it's also what it sounded like to me is that even though you can repurpose these into like a $3,000 outfit using what you already have and all of that, it's important to understand that your return on investment is not just monetary.
Yeah.
I think the major return on investment that you're giving people is that transformation of, I feel confident that I can walk into this space. I can command, more money on that job if I want to. I can command authority when I walk into a room. Like, I feel good about me, because then that translates into how they're interacting with their families and their significant other and their children, and because they are walking, dare I say, in their purpose, in the fullness of God and who they're called to be. So I think it's important for people to shift their mindset on what is return on investment.
Exactly. That's a very good point. I love that you said it, because it's very, very true. I have, I call her my day one client, but I have a client now. Her and I are very, very close. We've just built that type of working relationship. But when I first started working with her, I think she had recently left corporate or something along the lines. And she did a TEDx talk. And we had a mutual friend. That mutual friend got us in contact, because her friend was like, girl, you need to because she'll wear like black and a black shirt and black jeans or whatever and call it a day. And so our friend was like, girl, no, I know exactly who you need to work with. So our first opportunity working together, I styled her for her TEDx talk, and she literally used the photos, the photography and everything from that to gain more business opportunities. Like, that's one of the things she told me. She was like, your styling brought me more business opportunities, because now she had great photos, great marketing material, just based off of her looking the part, right? Because she's amazing at what she does, super smart. And we just needed a wardrobe, a look to reflect that. And I'm so proud of her, because not only has she taken her business to new heights, multiple six figures, she's traveling to Sweden soon to speak. Like, she's awesome. She's grown so much. Yeah. And I always tell her, I was like, I never dressed you for where you are now. I've always dressed you for your future and for where you are. And now, like the other day, she was, she has a retreat coming up this weekend. And so she was sending me pictures. She went out shopping for herself, because I didn't have time. Shopping for herself, and she sent me pieces that she picked out. And I was like, who are you? Like, her motto is, what was Shaquana like? And so it's like that too. And now she's able to go into these spaces where she's speaking on these major stages, and she just looks and feels her absolute best. And it's going to give her even more and more growth and opportunity in her career. So like you said, the return on the investment, it goes so beyond the clothes that you take out your closet every day to put on. It's about that confidence and that mindset shift of, okay, I'm already acting like I'm at that next level, and that sets you up, Yeah.
Mindset is so much of it. Like, when I went into business, I did not think that so much of what I would be doing would be centered around mindset, but it is like really the basis of everything. So I've had to get my own mindset together so that I can really serve my clients fully, because as a podcast producer and like business consultant, a lot of why people are not moving to the next level in their business or their podcast is because of mindset. So to hear you say that even with styling, like, it is really digging in deep, and who was this person, and how can we break some of those limiting beliefs? Because I'm sure you've heard people say, I can't wear that. girl, no, I can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, did you not see this little piece of belly, right? I cannot wear that. Right. So exactly. I think what you're doing is amazing. I think it's very, very powerful. And so I want to understand like some of your offerings and like, do you have like a tier? How does it work?
Yeah, so I'll speak from the styling perspective, and then also I'll talk a little bit more about the executive presence coaching as well, because that's like the next layer deeper than wardrobe styling. So I'll talk about that a little bit too. But with my wardrobe styling, I do have 2 different tiers and also offer wardrobe styling for photo shoots. So the most standard way that we can get started with working together, I call it the confident package. And that essentially includes what I mentioned before, where we do that deep dive style analysis. I understand you a little bit more, get to know you. And then that's when I'll do the shopping and the styling. And it's up to a certain amount of pieces, but because this is so much of who I am and what I do, I tend to go overboard. But
over-deliver. That's over-deliver.
Yes. I would give you, because if I see something like, I'm just thinking about the ultimate goal, I'm not going to hold back,
Yeah.
So I'll do the shopping for you. I'll do the styling. We'll go through that full process. And then we'll have what I call a get up and get dressed call, where you can try on some of the pieces that I picked out for you, put together some looks, or some people, I had a client recently, she was like, I have a major speaking engagement coming up. Can I utilize this call for that? Can you help me put together an outfit? Yeah. Sure. And we do that virtually. So that's kind of like that standard package. It's the confident package. And this is all under the umbrella. I didn't mention this. Sorry. This is all under the umbrella of the Power Style Experience. So that's what I call my overall wardrobe styling service. Then there's the high achieving package. So we have the confident package and the high achieving package. The high achieving package includes everything that I mentioned in the confident package, but you get the closet purging as well. The closet purging, that's deep. That's deep. People don't realize, like, I know for me, when I do my own closet purging, it's extremely therapeutic. And it's funny, I did it I did it while I was pregnant, because I knew, I was like, I'm not wearing this anymore. Like, I'm in mommy mode. I'm not going to be wearing these type of clothes anymore. And so I always recommend doing closet purging when your lifestyle has changed, or just life in general has changed. And just doing a closet purge when you literally walk into your closet and you're like, I don't like any of this stuff. Yeah. A closet purging sets you up for the ultimate success. So the high achieving package, we do the closet purging. I could do that virtually or in person. It's very successful doing either way. But it allows me to really look and see, what have you been buying? What have you been wearing or not wearing? What is your style for real, for real? And then you telling me, I'm looking at it now. I'm like, okay, I got you, sis. I know what you've been doing. And then that helps me even more with the shopping. I'm able to remember certain things about your wardrobe. Like, I remember those certain pair of shoes you had. We're going to find something to wear with that. That's just an example. And then from there, I go shopping, styling, we do the call. It's at an increased amount as well, because I'm not mean when I do the closet purging, but I'm going to be honest.
Another disclaimer, not mean.
They're like, and I get it. It's a very intimate thing. This is a very vulnerable thing. You're talking about dressing a woman's body. You're going into one of the most sacred, intimate pieces of their home, their closet, So I get it. So they're a little nervous, like, Shaquana, what are you going to do? But I just go in. I'm an unbiased person. I'm an expert at this. And I'm going to tell you, no, we need to get rid of all of this. But I promise you, we're going to replenish it with items that you're going to love 10 times more. Yeah. So that high achieving package, it just has so many successful results. So that's the wardrobe styling part. I do offer photo shoot packages as well. That's a little bit more customized based on what the photo shoot's about. And then for my executive presence, coaching and consulting, which I love doing, love doing as well. And so I coach women on their presence and how to have that powerful presence. So we go through the process, the onboarding process, with doing a questionnaire, going through the initial call, talking through what the goals are, what they're struggling with. And then from there, for me, when I'm doing that, I like to tailor the coaching to exactly what they need and how they like to be coached, if that makes sense. So I have content that may be pre-recorded, but they may be so busy because their moms, their wives, and they may say, Shaquanna, I just need to go on a call with you every other week so I can tell you what I'm struggling with and you tell me what to do. Cool, we'll do that. So that's what I do. And that's really, while there is kind of like that one base package, I would say, it's something that I'm still just trying to form and as I go and structure it as I go. But I really want to make sure I tailor it to that particular client and what they need. Because that's super important as well. Like having that presence in your career, it's something that people always throw out. I'm a corporate girl. I came from corporate, so I know the language. And they're like, oh, you need executive presence. Oh, you didn't get that leadership position because you don't have executive presence. But at the same time, a lot of these corporations aren't teaching. They're not teaching executive presence. And I know what it's like to be a Black woman in corporate America. So I say, you know what? Nope, I got y'all. Let's. I can use my experiences, what I've learned just with my journey and in my successful corporate career, and I help them with that too. So those are the things that I offer. And one thing I did forget to mention, and I got to do better with this, because I was talking about Get Up and Get Dressed. I am an author of a book. It's called Get Up and Get Dressed. It's a woman's guide to looking and feeling powerful according to God's image. So in this book, I take you through my own journey to confidence. So it's not all about style, but I relate it to kind of how we were talking about your mindset and the deeper work that it does for you. So I equip you with different tools and techniques and things needed to just build your confidence. So honestly, I've had clients who start with reading my book first because they need that like kind of level set. They kind of like need to recalibrate. Okay, how am I with my confidence level before inviting Shaquanna into my wardrobe? So it all works together, but hopefully I didn't jump around too much. Those are all the things
that was good. That was awesome. And we'll leave the links for everything down below. So we'll leave the link for the book and then how they can work with you, because that is awesome. And you're doing all of this. You're helping all these amazing people, and you're a new mom. Yeah. So you said that you're 4 months in, right?
She'll be
4 months on now?
Yeah, she'll be 4 months soon.
That is so awesome. So tell me, like, how has it been transitioning into like maintaining the business and now like adding mommyhood to the equation?
I'm still figuring it out.
So am I, and my kids are 11 and 12, so don't worry. Like, we're still figuring it out.
Yes, but I'm giving myself, I mean, that's motherhood 101. I'm giving myself grace. I'm giving myself grace and not being hard on myself. I understand what my priorities are now, which is her, and my family. So I'm sticking to that. Becoming a mom just automatically, naturally gave me more boundaries that I set for myself and for others, and especially in my business too, and very unapologetic about it too. So that's been interesting to see unfold. But the transition, I mean, right now it's just been more so me prioritizing what needs to be done on a day-to-day basis. And I noticed recently, not to say that before mommy becoming a motherhood that I kind of like wasted time, but I noticed now that I'm a mother, it's like, she sleep for a couple of hours. All right, these are the things I'm knocking out. And for some reason, I feel like I'm getting more done.
Yes.
Or important things done, I would say.
Yeah.
So that has been amazing. And then also too, I think the timing of everything just really helped. Because before we were, planning to expand our family, I was grinding in my business. Like I was just grinding, going hard, just really sowing a lot of seeds. And when I became pregnant, I watched those seeds, grow. And I built up a brand, I would say, over the past years, that now when I'm in that season where like physically I cannot do as much, still the clients came, still the opportunities came. So the timing of everything, I like to say that now that I am back to working and kind of sort of back into that grind mode, I'm finding that I don't have to go as hard as I did because I've established a brand and everything. Now it's just continuing to expand my message. The executive presence piece, while I was doing it, I didn't formally do it like I do it now. If that makes, as far as like putting it out there, hey y'all, I actually do this too.
Like, this is an official offering that I provide. Yeah.
Exactly. Whereas I was doing it on the low with my styling clients, to be honest. And also I had previous people who I worked with in corporate who would come to me. So I was already doing it. But now I'm folding this piece into the mix, and it's been, I don't want to say easier because I don't want to like sugarcoat anything, but it's naturally have just flown. Like, I'm in a space where I'm not forcing anything. I'm just letting things flow.
Yeah.
Because I was really worried when I got pregnant. I was like, oh my gosh, like first trimester set me all the way down. I was like, but no, I have clients. And what if someone calls me for a photo shoot? Am I going to be able to take it on? Blah, blah, blah. And I was so stressed. And I go to a therapist, love her to death. I've been a client of hers for years. And she was like, Shaquanna, just let it flow. Just let your business flow. And naturally, like, God takes care of everything because he has transformed and transitioned my business to fit motherhood now.
Yeah.
So that's how it's been as of today. But we'll see what it is in a month or two. But no, it's been fun. And I will say too, on another note, I feel like because I had a daughter and I worked so hard for so many years on helping other women become confident and powerful, I now have my own daughter to teach and instill those same things. So she drives me even harder. Yeah. She makes me more unapologetic about what I do and what I stand for. She in all her cuteness, I can't wait to get back to her, but in all her cuteness, I'm setting this up for her, but it's like also it's lighting a fire within me. That's the way I like. And so I think that's a big part of the transition that makes the transition a little bit easier or enjoyable, I would say.
Yeah. And it sounds like, so as you're going through this journey, you're recognizing that not only am I chasing this dream for me, but I'm also chasing the dream for my daughter. Like, and I do the same for my kids. So I started because I was never meant to work in anybody else's business. I mean, I'm a great employee, but I was just never meant to stay one, right? So I always meant to own my own business. And I wanted my girls to see that they can pursue their dreams. They can do what it is that they want to do. They don't have to get or feel trapped. Now, for people who are working in, normie jobs or, 9-to-5 jobs, like, we need people like that, right? So there's no shade there, but for the people who know that that's not for them, I believe, like, do what you have to do. And I wanted my kids to see, like, you can do what you want to do. So if they want, one of my kids, she's like, nah, Ma, that entrepreneurship look real hard. So I want to go and I'm going to work a regular job. I'm like, you say that now, but maybe you will change. But I'm sorry. But you got options.
Exactly.
You got options. But it's a different kind of grind.
Yeah.
It's not really a grind anymore. It's more of like, okay, God, I'm letting you step in and take over and do this. This is your business anyways. This is, I am just but a vessel. So give me a strategy. Tell me all the ways, all the things that you want me to do, and I will show up and I will do them. And I feel so blessed that my kids get to watch that. Yeah. And I feel so blessed for your daughter that she gets to watch you chase your dreams so that she knows that she can chase hers. I think that is just, it's beautiful.
It is. And you bring up a good point because I was, I'm a millennial. So I was a part of the generation that was told, go to college, get a good job, work a job for 30 years.
Oh, God, yes.
Today, my parents probably think I'm crazy for leaving corporate, but have changed. Like, we have options now. We don't have to be a slave to corporate anymore. We don't have to do that. We're able to live our life on God's terms, on our own terms, live it according to how he wants it to be. I know for me, when I was in corporate, I literally felt like I was in prison, like I was in bondage, and God had to set me free so that I can live on purpose. Like, I honestly, and I told my husband before, I don't know. Well, I'm not going to say that. I don't know if my pregnancy journey, my conceiving journey would have been the same if I was still stuck in corporate. Because like we just had to do a lot. And so having that time freedom having the ability to dictate where I am, when, and how, like all of that, made it less stressful. And I think that it was meant for me to go through this in a peaceful way, because peace is, that's what God gives us, right? He's not the author of confusion and stress and anxiety.
Right.
And so I'm very, very blessed that has been my experience and my journey. But yeah, I'm definitely going to teach my daughter, like you have. It is going to change by the time she gets like to that age where she has to figure out what she's going to do. It's going to change, because technology do what it does. So I'm grateful that I could be her first example to say, hey, I did this. Mommy did this, the traditional job, but I also did this. And you are capable of doing anything you want to, as long as you keep God first, keep him in the center, and let him guide you. You can do whatever you want in this world. So I'm grateful that my journey and my story has brought me to the point where I'm able to show her that, just because I'm living it and not just saying it,
Yeah. There's two things that what you said brought up for me. So one, when you said, oh, my parents are probably looking at me like I'm crazy. They probably still think I'm crazy. I suspect that my parents probably think the same thing, although they're very supportive, like on the outside, but on the inside, I think it's a little part of them was like, oh my God, Jesus, bless this child. So I had a good government job, and I was making good money and very secure job. Like, how many people get fired from, who work in government? Rarely, right? It's not private sector. So I'm working this good government job, and I have a boss who tells me, because one of my daughter had gotten sick, and I said, I have to leave. I have to go. And I'm a single mom. So he says, well, Shani, there comes a time in your career when you have to decide. And I was like, decide what?
Right.
What are you talking about? And he was like, well, I mean, either you're going to stay and do the job, or, bruh, spell it out. What are we saying right now? And he was like, well, you're going to have to decide between the work and your kids. And I was like, that will never be a choice. It will always be the kids.
Exactly.
I mean, it will always be the kids. And my babies are 6. So this conversation is wasting I got to go.
Exactly.
I got to go. Fire me. You know what I mean? But I got to go. And we're going to talk to HR and see what they got to say about that. But that's what that brought up for me, was like, man, I don't think that you would have had the same experience. Racing, doing whatever you needed to do for your daughter if you were working in corporate, because those people have a mission. And their mission depends on their bottom line. And so the freedom that comes with being an entrepreneur, although we're working longer hours, yes, I traded in a 9-to-5 for a 24-hour job. Yes, but there will come a point, there's seasons, and there will come a point where you don't have to work all those hours. You'll have somebody who can put in the hours that are necessary, where you can spend time. And like you said, you sowed those seeds and you're seeing the fruit of that now. You're in a different season than when you were just pregnant, right? So like, things can change. God can change a situation like that.
Yes.
Like
I'm living through it. Yes.
He can change your situation so quickly. And I think that's I think it's important for people to understand that where I'm at right now is not always where I'm going to be. So if they are starting their business, and when I say starting, I'm talking about like the first 2-3 years, right? Not like at the very beginning, the ramp up season, when they're in that process and it feels like, God, what's happening?
What are we doing?
You told me to do this.
I've had
yet I feel punished. What is happening? So when they're in those seasons, just know that it's not forever. It is a temporary thing. It is God breaking loose some things from you. He is teaching you some things. He is opening you up to what you're truly capable of. Because I have been through some things on this journey that I'm like, God, I didn't never think.
Right.
I would have made it through that. And keeps providing, keeps showing up, keeps doing all the things. So that's a little bit of encouragement for anybody who might be going through something. But baby God.
Yeah, that's what it is. And when you were talking just now, I think about that I just feel like the biggest things and the most beautiful things in our lives are going to take you to the wire, are going to make you fight for it. Because different areas of my lives, I've had those seasons where I'm like, ooh, okay, God, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, come here, sit down, talk to me. What are we doing? Exactly. that's with my marriage, my career, my corporate career, and especially when I transitioned to entrepreneurship, motherhood, like all of those things, they're so beautiful, but they require a lot. And a lot of it starts in our mindset. A lot of it starts in our heart, in our soul. Like a lot of people look at entrepreneurship, they look at the glitz and glamour of it, but really, and people will do all the things investing in their business, which is great. We are going to do that. We're going to invest, but investing in your mindset is like hands down. I will tell anyone, if they want to do this full time, if they want to transition from, it's so different. When you're working in corporate, you got someone telling you what to do. You go in, you clock in, you clock out. Like you're done. It's not that much, effort put into it. But when you are working on a business yourself, you deal with so much more that like really questions like your self-worth. Like I've had seasons where I'm like, am I worth
like I thought I was an expert. But I don't know. Maybe not.
That one client that touched you, you're like, wait a minute.
Oh, I had one recently, and I was like, this ain't nothing but the devil. Like, this ain't nothing but the devil.
But like you said, like God is very intentional and very strategic, and he this is not a surprise to him. He's taking you through certain things for the future. Like if I didn't have that one nightmare client, I wouldn't have updated my contracts immediately.
Oh, you must have had one like what I had, because just went through that process. Like, we gonna get this contract all the way together.
Listen, look,
never again. And never again. You will not catch me slipping.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. But I'm grateful because now that set me up. Like ever since then, I've had clients I love. Yeah. And it's because I now know what I really, really don't want. So I know we're laughing about it now, but it's definitely a journey. I feel like I could talk about it forever, but yeah.
Oh, because listen, there have been days like when I say tears, like full on come to Jesus moment, like. And that's challenging because I don't ever want my girls to see. So sometimes I have to like, wait, you have to suppress what you are feeling and push through. But yeah, them contracts. Get your contracts together, people.
Yes. Like, constantly update them based on how you want to run your business. It's so important. Because I had one client ask for a partial refund. I said, no, did you read your contract? I don't do refunds. So, it's like things like that protect you. So I think that's important.
Oh yeah. And ChatGPT is not going to get you a good contract. Like you really need to get somebody look over that thing, make sure, understand what your business is. If you charging more for certain services and it needs to be included in there, like, I learned this lesson the hard way.
I got a couple of attorneys in my back. They're actually my clients, but they look out for me. Like I look out.
Like, baby, can you look over this, please? Because I might go to jail messing with this person.
Right.
That is so funny. Oh my God. Oh, another thing that I wanted to mention when you were talking earlier about like us as millennials, right? It seems like everybody and their mom is starting a business, and not everybody will survive. Not everybody will sustain, right? Because some people are in it for the fad of like, oh, it's free. Like when people say, oh, I can work from anywhere. Baby, I can work from anywhere. I probably have to work from anywhere.
Right.
So if I went on vacation right now, I would still have to take my laptop. I would still have to take my phone because it is what it is. Even if you have like plenty of people working under you, someone's going to have to call you and check in and say, hey, is this okay to do this and all that. So when people say, oh, I get to work from anywhere, that's such a nice way to reframe that you got to work every time you. But for us millennials who are like growing and starting our businesses, I think that it feels flooded right now. But there was a time when it felt like this too, right? Previously, because all the businesses that people are out here working for were started by someone. So I think it's important for parents to like understand your kids are doing this because they're feeling led to start this business, because there is a new generation of businesses that have to evolve. Yeah, they have to start. We have to start. So it just feels like a boom now. Feels like everybody and their mama want to do it now, but it's necessary, I think, for 20, 30 years down the road when we have people who are working for our companies.
Yeah.
So it has to be that way. Like, it's just a cycle of life.
Yeah,
It seems like a lot right now, but it's a cycle of life.
Exactly.
And we got to be supportive. Like, if my kids wanted to work a regular job, that's fine. If they want to start a business, that's fine too. I'm all in for it. I'm all in for it because I don't know what God is telling them. I know what He told me.
Exactly.
Don't know what He told them. So I support them.
I think that's a good parenting thing too. Like, it's not going to look like, her life may not look like exactly how I want it to look like, and it's certainly not going to look like mine. I have to trust that God, like, I dedicate her to God. Like, this is God's child. I have to trust what God is doing and how He's going to keep her and protect her. And I support anything she want to do. If she looking crazy, we looking crazy together, girl. Come on, let's do it.
Hello. I love that. I love it. I encourage you on your motherhood journey. I am so excited for you and everything that this new season is going to bring. And this has been really good. This has been great. I've had such a good time talking to you.
This is fun.
I didn't realize it was like 45 minutes already. I'm like, oh, dang. Okay. My editor's will be like, Shani, that's a long video. So this has been really, really good. Is there any other nuggets that you want to let anyone know before we go?
I feel like we shared so much across the board. I would just say for anyone who is wherever you are in life, whether it's motherhood or not, entrepreneurship, wherever you are, don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to get uncomfortable. I feel like I was sharing with you before we started recording, with all the transitions I have going on, I feel like God just loves to put me in uncomfortable situations. But I find that it's through those that I grow the most. It's through those seasons where I gain the most confidence. It's through those seasons that I feel like I really fully step into who Shaquana really is. And so embrace those moments. A lot of women are like, oh, I just want to feel confident. I want to look confident. I want to feel confident. Sometimes you're going to have to step away from what you're used to and step away from what you think it should look like, and really just own and embrace and accept what it really is and what God is taking you through. Because I promise you, and it's just speaking to me, I promise you, the outcome on the other side, you're going to have that day, that moment where you be like, oh, wow, God, that's why you did that? Okay, thank you. That's truly one of the most beautiful moments that you could have. So, so I thank you for this, because this conversation allowed me to have that moment of, oh, okay, God, I get it. I get why you did that. So, that's all I would say.
Yay! How awesome. This has been so good. And I would love to have you back at another point. We could have another conversation, because this was really dope. And for all who are listening, I'll make sure I'll leave everything in the show notes below so that you can get in contact with Shaquana. Let her bless your life, let her change, get all your wardrobe and everything together. And if you're on the executive track, allow her to speak into you and help you with that. What is it called? Something presence. What is it called again?
Doing your powerful presence. All about executive presence. Yeah.
Yes, for executive presence, girl. Government, we didn't have no executive presidents, but for those who are on that corporate track, get your executive presence together. So thank you so much. This has been really, really dope. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye.
Thank you.